Erica Enders, you're from Houston. Jaja Energy, it's a Texas company. How good is it to be back in Texas?
It's so good to be home, and just getting off the plane in my home state the other day, it just feels so much better to be here. The fans are great out here, and like you said, Zaza's based out of Texas, so we've got a lot of guests, big hospitality, a lot of family and friends out here, so this race is really important for Zaza Energy and Airmotive, and we're just really excited to be here.
I've got to show you guys the sticker on our car. Look, girls drive faster than boys. Good luck this weekend.
Should we try the ultimate test? The stars at night are big and bright. Where's the rest of it?
It almost worked.
Left me hanging.
Almost. Jeez.
Ronnie Humphrey and Ron Krischer up now.
Yeah, apparently you guys didn't get up at the festivities last night where our audio guy Toast had his band playing. Did you guys sing, Mike?
We did. We hummed.
I can't sing. Are you kidding me?
Couldn't carry a tune in a pocket.
Hey, they were loving
I
it.
did put on a show, though, but but we're not going to go there.
The wooden nickel in Ennis, Texas will never be the same.
My producer says we can't go there.
We can just back into that if you want to.
Oh, boy.
Well, this is, to change the subject, our Friday night coverage on ESPN3. It's kind of NHRA relaxed for us, where we just all get to sit around and kind of talk about it, get a guest or two in. We're watching Ronnie Humphrey and Ron Krischer right now.
Boy, Ronnie Humphrey had a great pass in that first session earlier today.
He's been running well. I mean, ran very well in Charlotte also, and just putting together some good runs. Ron Krischer, though, coming to the points in the 10th place and just struggled, didn't get in the show in Charlotte. That was a tough break, but he came out and made a nice run in the first session, but he's already been bumped down to 10th.
Doesn't matter if you're not a KB car. I mean, there's a third one out there now. The competition just got to be fed up.
Humphrey currently sits 9th, Krischer 10th.
Nice run.
Yeah. 6:57 is going to move him now up to 5th. Krischer will stay where he was.
Now, what's going to be interesting is watching this final pair, the other two KB cars coming up, to see whether or not they can extend or continue the dominance they've enjoyed. You heard Erica talking about trying to make up for a performance disadvantage through Dave Conley. These guys about 0.03 of a second quicker pretty consistently. So can they step it up now, and track conditions a little bit better, a little bit cooler here in Texas?
I've caught up with Alan Johnson down at the top end. Alan, this beautiful white car behind you. You can see the lines on it, but I have a feeling it's not going to be like this all weekend.
You know, we're nicknamed it White Lightning. It's from Tennessee, you know. So now Mopar's shipping in some people and some graphics. Going to have a new look. Hopefully tomorrow. I think they'll get it done tonight. If not, it'll be Sunday. But new Mopar look. It's going to be exciting.
This was only its 6th run. How was it?
Decent. You know, we're gaining on it. We're certainly not where we need to be, but a couple of hundreds from the leaders, got to be pretty happy.
All right, good luck. Thanks.
You get that new wrap on that, and it'll look just like the old one did. Greg Anderson, Jason Line. Line is the #1 qualifier at the moment on the strength of a 6:56. And Greg Anderson sits down in 3rd. He has a 6:57 with a 1.
But they came in here 1 and 2, and they were 2 or 3 hundredths quicker than their next closest competition. But since then in this session, everybody's closed that gap up. And right now, from #1, Jason Line, into that number 12th and final transfer position of Roger Brogdon, 0.04 of a second. That's how tight and close Pro Stock Racing is until these two come to line. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can step up and put that distance between the rest of the field like they did in the first session.
Well, it's especially important for Greg Anderson, who's trying to improve his bragging rights, because he lost first round a week ago on a hole shot in the first round racing Shane Gray.
Well, Jason Line had a great weekend. #1 qualifier, took over the point lead, went to the final until 003 red in that final. He says there's some unfinished business to be resolved here. One of the cool things they do at this race, a Stetson cowboy hat. He says, I have to have that hat this weekend.
Oh, look at that.
6:55 with a 9, 6:55 with a 3. Anderson goes around Mike Edwards and into 2nd. Now, were we saying something about whether these cars had dominance?
Man, is that amazing? Every time they go down the racetrack. You know, and the thing is, we talked about Greg Anderson getting beat in the first round. He was going to win that round, even though he got left on the starting line by Shane Gray, as we go on board with him right here. But when he was out there running through the gears, he was just getting ready to pass Shane right about there in fourth gear. The engine quit. He legged it to the other end, but still got beat. He probably would have won that round had the engine not broke.
Oh, yeah, okay. We're good. Let's look at points now in Pro Stock, and they are up to the minute, and the do-or-done lines remains below Greg Anderson.
Well,
KB the only thing? Come on, Mike, there's other people.
Greg Anderson got beat first round, and he's still in second place. That's how stout these guys are.
Yeah, you're right.
And keep in mind, that's only an opinion, right?
That's a do-or-done line. It doesn't mean it's over. You just better do something quick, or these guys are going to run away with it.
Do you pay a lot for that line when you go back in the pits? Do they give you any
Big
trouble?
money. All they give me is grief.
Let's go to Jamie at the top end.
Jason Lyon, points leader coming into this weekend. Jason, how much pressure are you feeling to perform?
Pressure? What pressure? I don't know. You know, I want to win just like everybody else. And right now, I've got the best Summit Racing Pro Stock car that I've ever driven. It's the thing is awesome. And even when I mess it up, it runs fast. So there's definitely some pressure, but you know, that's a good thing. That's what we get paid for. So I'll try to do a better job than I did last week and come out here with the Wally. And but there's a lot of other good cars out there. So we'll see what happens.
And Greg Anderson, I know you're feeling the pressure to perform here this weekend after last weekend. Can you put that into words? How much is it?
It's huge. I think for me, this is the weekend. I either get it done this weekend, or I probably can wave goodbye to that guy right there, or maybe somebody else. So it's do or die time. You know what? I like it that way. I like pressure. See if I can come through.
Good luck. Thanks.
Putting the pressure on himself. Well, you remember Mike Dunn came up with the idea of the top 5 coolest cars. His own definition of coolest. There they are, Mike.
Well, it was hard to decide on that because there's so many cool cars over the year. But, you know, Dale Foley's War Eagle, Sox and Martin 71 Barracuda Pro Stocker, Snake and Mongoose, the Hot Wheels funny cars. How can you not love them? Big John Mazmanians, Candy Apple Red Barracuda funny car, and my all-time favorite, the Surfer's Top Fuel Dragster from 1966.
And, you know, with his love of history, the stat guy could not let that thing go. So now he has his coolest cars.
And, of course, the age-old question, do real race cars have doors? Well, mine has 4 of them, as I love that 1974 4-door Ford Maverick, the Gap and Roush car. Jack Roush won the championship in '73. Of course, actually, Wayne Gap, and, of course, Jack Roush, the car owner of NASCAR fame. The car won at Englishtown at '75. I just love that race car.
Wonder where these two guys fit into it, Louis. Hey, don't forget to join us for qualifying 1:15 on Saturday night, and in the finals 7 o'clock on Sunday, and 7 o'clock is finals time through the remainder of the countdown to the championship. Well, guess what's coming next? Nitro! A few minutes away. We'll be back when they start up. Billy, would you say something? So Matt Hagan was the man in funny car in Charlotte last week. Friday night, he ran a 3:99 for a new national record and the pole position. In eliminations, he ripped through the field, won his first race of the year, and moved from 6th to 2nd in the points behind Mike Neff. The second race in the NHRA countdown to the championship here in Dallas begins with a new points leader in Top Fuel, Antron Brown, who has won 3 straight events. He is 3rd points leader of the season and is peaking at just the right time. Don't forget our coverage. Quals Saturday night, finals on Sunday.
See, that wasn't too hard to get that. All right, thank you for playing three-time hockey. We're going to send it up to the tower and we'll let it join. Now, take it away.
82 is when.
Well, we're back now at the beautiful Texas Motorplex and getting ready for Nitro to come up to the line right now. And the Pro Stock standings after the first two sessions of qualifying, 2 more to go tomorrow. Jason Line, track record ET, and then Greg Anderson moved back into second place when Mike Edwards took it away during that session, followed by Vincent Nobile, Ronnie Humphrey, Alan Johnson, Erica Enders, and V. Gaines.
The 12 times that carry over, you see Greg Stanfield in 9th, Ron Krischer 10th, Kurt Johnson, our most recent winner, in 11th, and Roger Brogdon is in that 12th and final transfer position with a 6:60 with a 5 elapsed time.
And those who are not qualified in Pro Stock as they stand right now includes Kent, Warren Johnson. That's a long list. Larry Morgan's even in that one. Well, this is where we work. This is the booth. How y'all doing? There's Mike. There's Gary.
Looks like the space station, doesn't it? It's all flow.
And I got to tell you that camera makes it look a lot bigger than it really is.
Wow, spacious.
You're saying who's sitting right there in between them? Well, this track was his dream. Billy Meyer, 82 U.S. Nationals winner. 86, though. Well, you guys were talking about a story. Billy, first of all, it's good to have you here.
Yeah,
He's been telling stories about you all day, and so now it's time for your rebuttal. But let's talk about Indy 86.
Well, I hope the stories were off the air.
Yeah, they had to be, Billy.
Yeah, good.
But I can remember here, you built this track in 1986. I mean, and it's one of the top 60 moments of the fact that you built, this was the first super track, stadium-style track. And I always love telling the story every year we come here. Driving Joe Paisano's, you booked us in for a match race. It was you and me, the inaugural race here at the Texas Motorplex, and I can remember coming down 287 and all of a sudden seeing this thing come out of the horizon. I'm going, oh my goodness, look at that racetrack. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was obviously a pretty fun first weekend. I think it was a points race, and you and I ran in funny car, and we had 2 top fuel cars, I think Dan Pastorini and another car, I think Eddie Hill, I think. Yep. And it was a pretty cool first week. Obviously, 6 weeks later we opened up here with the first national event, which was like the 3rd largest crowd in NHRA history, and set a lot of records, and it ended up being pretty good ever since.
Well, and the great thing was I can remember coming here and I don't remember who won. You must have won the race because I only forget when I get beat. But anyway, we both came out and we both went like our quickest runs ever right down the track because the track was just so good, and it was like a 5:68 to a 5:69, and we went back and forth, and it was unbelievable how good the racetrack. And I can remember though, like the groove's always been very, very narrow here, and everybody says, that's always been kind of a problem. I said, well, not if you stay in the groove, and the reason the groove is so narrow is because the cars were always on the line. I mean, they just went straight down the racetrack for the majority of the time.
Yeah, and it was real narrow that first week because it was whatever our run was the groove.
Well, it's an all-concrete facility, and it's the first one. Tell us the story of why you did that.
Well, it not only is the only all-concrete racetrack, it's a post-tension concrete. And if you're not understanding construction, you understand post-tension where there's no seams or anything in it. It's got cables that are huge, like 3/4 inch cables, every foot wide and every foot going the other direction too, and they're compressed to 70,000 pounds PSI. So it's really just a slab that's compressed and contained with like a Chinese, finger joints, and so so it's not like the old runways that you go on where you hear the thumps every 25 yards going thump thump thump. So it's 26th event, and we've never done anything to it but actually grind it one time 2 years ago.
That's amazing.